what are some misconceptions about the accounting field?
Well, I think we're looked at as nerds, and certainly television and social media perceives us that way. But I can assure you, especially here at CLH, that we are anything but nerds here. And Gretchen leads the charge on us having fun and doing things. So we're definitely not nerds. It's not just about numbers. It's about building relationships with individuals, with families, with businesses, and that's been so important in getting to know your clients to better serve them. And that has been just hugely successful for me. I've had families for 40 years and I'm going into new generations. So it's just a lot more than crunching numbers.
Thank you. Kylee, would you like to add anything on what misconceptions about the accounting field are?
No, just that we're not boring. We're a lot of fun.
That is true. That is true. Gretchen?
Okay, they took all my answers, so I had it's boring, and we're really not number crunchers.
What challenges or obstacles have you faced as a woman in your career?
Stereotypes, gender bias. I started in the field when there weren't many women in the field, and we were viewed as something of an anomaly, not quite up to snuff, and too emotional, and it was quite a thing to get over. It has changed over the years, but it's still there in some instances. It was the biggest thing.
One thing I brought up earlier is, doing an interview and the interviewee is talking to the male coworker. It's just, that you got to talk to me. The perception that he's the boss and we're not. Yeah.
Gender bias as well. Not being perceived as intelligent as I am, having to prove myself harder. Also work-life balance. At CLH, I don't see that as an issue here, but in my previous career, I found that I've had to sacrifice a lot for my family.
For your career?
Yes.
Yes. And Lynn?
I agree with absolutely everything that these great women have said. But in addition, I think we as women have a lot of self-doubt about ourselves. We wear a lot of hats, and it's really difficult wearing a lot of hats to be able to do all of it really well. And I recently experienced that. I was asked to go to an Alzheimer's Leaders Community Summit and a national, it was national, and I couldn't figure out why I was being looked at as a leader. I felt like I was a really small fish in a really big pond, but when I got there, I realized it was all about people just like me. And I think that's true of all the hats that we wear. We're just like everybody else. So I just feel that sometimes we have a lot of self-doubt about ourselves, and we are much better than we think we are.
That's yours. Do any of you have a way that you can, how you overcame those gender biases? And a follow-up to that, did you notice that the gender bias, it didn't matter whether it was male or female that you were talking to, that it was a matter of the position or the question?
I just tried to keep myself out of certain exposures. Would bring a male with me sometimes when I met a client that I knew there could be a potential issue. I didn't put myself in a situation of being by myself when I delivered a tax return to a client's business, or I've done it with home deliveries as well. So I just was very cautious as I've progressed in here as to how I position myself.
This one, what keeps you going?
I love what I do. I really do. I love my clients. I've gotten very close to many of them. And working for a smaller firm, it's also a family environment here. I don't work for a big firm because you would lose that. So it's been real important to me to have family, to have a great boss that has allowed me to be flexible and do what I need to do from an actual family standpoint.
Kylee, do you have anything to add?
I love what I do too, and every day's different. So we're always experiencing different challenges, and it's fun. It is fun, and I do love who I work with too.
Wonderful. Gretchen or Linda, would you like to add anything to their commentary?
I think it's the variety.
Yeah.
In public accounting, you are not doing the same thing every day. You're doing something different every single day. Every single hour, you're doing something different, and you're working on a different client, different businesses, and it's stimulating. It's exciting. It keeps you going. It keeps
not
the
boring.
blood flowing.
It's not boring.
Not boring. No, not at all.
Thank you all for that. Our next question is dealing about just thinking back in your career, whether there was a memorable experience or a project that highlights the variety within the accounting profession you would like to share. Lynn, would you like to take that one, or?
Sure. As I thought about this, it reminded me of a client that I have that I've been an integral part with. Not only do I do their tax return, the financial statement, I talk to the bankers, I meet with them. We've tried to explore different ways of helping sometimes a suffering business, do tax planning with adding retirement plans, employee involvement. We've even been involved on helping them with hiring, accounting, and other staff to their firm. So there are so many aspects to this client that it's made it fun and exciting.
Years ago, when I was with the larger regional firm, I consulted and was on a project for a new development at the Port of Indiana, and working with some developers out of Wisconsin and another one out of Michigan. And then we did a big presentation to some state officials down in Indianapolis. So it was totally out of my realm of being comfortable, but it was exciting at the same time. So it was a good experience.
Did you have someone that you can think of that helped you at an early stage in your career, and when you were at a crossroads at which way to take your career? And what idea or lesson have you picked up from them that you still find relevant today? So let's start with Kylee on that, please.
I did. I had a mentor first starting out in my career. He was a male, and he believed in me and took me under his wing and showed me how to do public accounting. And every single person at this table, including you, Bob, have mentored me and empowered me and believed in me. Linda actually was the one to hire me. Lynn helped develop me in the tax department. Gretchen, we became partners together, so we helped empower each other. Bob, you believed in me. And I think that's the underlying theme. Everyone believed in me and made me believe in myself.
Well, thank you. And thank you for those sentiments. Gretchen?
Linda was my role model, so she taught me everything she knew and pushed me. Yeah.
Linda?
Yes, I had a couple role models. I had a female and a male, and the female was highly inspirational, and she she taught me one thing that probably going to surprise all of you. You never let them see you cry. And as a woman, we know this profession can force us into some very emotional situations. So if you can't handle it, you go to your office and you shut the door, and after you're all done, you come out and everything's fine again. So you just don't let them see you. You don't let them see a weakness. You can't do that.
Very good. Well, I know, Lynn, we're going to come to you, but I just want to add to the comment on Linda. Linda was my mentor. hire me coming out of college and had to put up with that newbie coming right out of school. So, with that, but Lynn, what about
That
you?
just shows you how old I am.
I'm not on camera, so they can't see how old I am. So they're all gonna bet I'm
You see
older
the
than
cups.
you here. That's right, look at the cup. Lynn, you.
I've been very blessed to have 2 mentors. My first mentor, she started in the 60s when women did not go into accounting. Women were nurses or teachers, secretaries. She decided she was never going to be a partner in a male-dominated firm and started her own firm. She's still working to this day, and I truly admire her for that. She taught me to minimize your weaknesses and work on your strengths. She was the hardest woman working in accounting that I've ever known and still is. My second mentor was a man, and that's John Craighead, who started this firm. He inspired me to be the best that I could, to never forget the details. That the details were very important, to look at all sides and don't be biased towards anything. So he was a huge mentor, and I attribute him to my success as well.
Was there, and this is for any of you, was there one thing that you picked up from that mentor that you still find relevant today? I presume, Lynn, for you it would have been, don't forget the details.
Right, absolutely.
As you like to remind me on a regular basis. Kylee, how about you?
Linda told me the glass ceiling is not shattered yet, so go shatter that glass ceiling.
Very good. Gretchen, is there anything that pops to your mind?
Everything.
Very good. And Linda, for you?
Well, I had 2 mentors, but John too. John was absolutely critical to my career, and John was one of those guys. I mean, in CLH, I never ever experienced the bias from the male partners here. Never.
Me neither.
No.
At other firms, yeah,
Yes.
but not here. And
Never here.
John is an amazing teacher. I love the way he trains and teaches. He's so into the detail, and he explains why. Mm-hmm. So he's a treasure.
Is there a memorable mentor that you had, or mentorship that you were mentoring experience with someone that you saw something you did that really impacted how they pursued their career?
Absolutely. Well, present company accepted here with Gretchen and Kylee, but our office manager and our HR manager here, Stephanie, I saw Stephanie come to us as a high school student working part-time at the front desk, and she has just come a long way, and I hope that I've helped spur her along a little bit, that she's gone on to get certifications in human resource. She manages all 3 of these offices. Like, I don't know how she juggles it all with 3 small children, and just, I'm very proud of her. Another one is sitting right behind you, Emily. Emily started out and worked behind the front desk. And I got to be very close to Emily in the beginning. And she left us for a little while. And when she came back, she was even more amazing than she was the first time. She was the first person at the front desk to put together a front desk manual. And she surprised me with that. I don't believe I even asked her to do it. She just saw it needed doing, and she did it. Amazing woman.
Very
We have
good.
amazing women at this, and men. We have amazing men at this firm.
Well,
I think listening and taking people under your wing, and then realizing that you're human and that you're having the same struggles. And when you see that aha moment come with a staff member, it's amazing that you really are a human being and have the same types of issues and struggles. And I've experienced that a number of times with women here. at CLH.
I do think that's one of the most impactful ways to mentor is to share your struggles with other women, and it does empower them. It shows them they're not alone,
Right.
and it gives them strength.
You know, Gretchen, you hadn't said nothing, but I know in reality you've mentored a lot of people because in respect, even for individuals that no longer work for CLH, they show up at your wedding and
Right.
you don't tell me they're coming. Running around trying to find out names.
So now we have lists that have to go
We
around
have
if there's
lists.
wedding,
But-
yes.
But Linda, that speaks highly because you are in touch with so many of our former coworkers because they really respected the way you shared with them and brought them along. So I'll speak for you on that
Thank
behalf.
you.
Because she's shy about it,
Yeah.
which is unlike her, but we'll go. Can any one of those stand out though that you can think of that maybe?
I mean, a lot of them still call me. I still talk to them, and
Yeah.
they, ask opinions or, send people over here to work or, so they still keep in touch.
Do you feel it's important to have women in leadership roles? And part two of that question, in what ways do you see women shaping the future of the accounting profession?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. Definitely feel it's important to have women in leadership roles. We need women representation. And I think women help shape the future of the accounting profession by encouraging flexible work schedules, encouraging work-life balance. What about you, Lynn?
I just think men and women think differently. Men and women are different in many aspects, and I think it gives balance to a firm when you have both men and female leaderships. I just think it's important for both because they both lend incredible strengths to a firm.
I think, Kylie, you commented about how that with women in leadership and sort of shaping the future is truly the concept of having flexible schedules or additional schedules. Lynn, do you have anything to add to that, how the future can be shaped by women in the profession?
I just think there's a softening that goes on with women in the firm. There's more listening and nurturing, so to speak, which I think is very important to today's society of young professionals.